media. Why are you here tonight?
I'm here tonight because the AIPAC conference is going on. I was here earlier in the day and actually got inside, and when the Israeli President Shimon Peres was talking, there were 6 of us inside, and we got up with our banners that said things like, "What about Gaza? Want peace? Then end the occupation." And some stood on chairs, some got as close to the stage as they could, and they grabbed our signs, but we kept saying, "What about Gaza? What about the children? What about the children?" And we had a lot of conversations afterwards with people as they were coming out, and we said to them, "I just got back from Gaza. I can't believe the devastation that I saw, that Israel just destroyed people's homes and their schools and their mosques and their hospitals and the UN warehouse and killed over 1,300 people, hundreds of children. And how can they sanction that? That doesn't make Israel safer. It makes more people hate Israel. And what AIPAC is doing to unconditionally support the policies of Israel is bad for Israel, bad for the Palestinians, and bad for us here in the United States. So that's why I'm here.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Well, I'm here once again outside of the AIPAC conference here in D.C., in which all of the politicians, liberal and Democrat and conservatives and Republicans, they all come out to pledge allegiance to AIPAC and the message of AIPAC and the policies of AIPAC, which are detrimental to the people of Israel, the Jews, the Americans. It is a policy that is promoting more war and more occupation and more suffering to the Palestinian people. So that's why I'm here.
And I notice your sign says "End the occupation, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Palestine." And,
right.
And of course, the latest outrage was in Gaza.
Yes.
And not only was there a military siege, but there was an embargo. What do you know about that, the embargo?
Well, I mean, the embargo, like all embargoes, they're very, very sinister things and very harmful to the people. The people in Gaza need medical supplies. They need access to, food and other types of material. And the embargo is cutting this off. People in the West, in European countries, and in North America are trying to get into Gaza with this type of assistance and humanitarian aid, and they're being stopped by the Israelis, sometimes in a very violent way.
And how do you feel about AIPAC?
I don't agree with them at all. I think they are here's a perfect example. Our police, our taxes are going to pay for these police. These platoons of police, our taxes are paying for to guide them across the city. Some of these buses are empty. How come they get a police escort? And that's our taxes paying for it. If they want to have a convention, let them have their convention, but not with my money, thank you.
Are you a resident of the district, Lewis?
I am.
Mm-hmm. So you object to the money being spent then to give them special treatment?
Well, that's a small part of what I object to.
What's the other part?
The huge proportion of our tax money goes to support the unending military needs and requirements of the state of Israel, and the fact that this is unaccountable. It's not on the books. It's done secretly. It's done behind closed doors. And though there are members of Congress who know, they're part of the problem. Like Jane Harman came out and she spoke at the conference today. I heard her on the radio. The problem, what we need is a solution. We don't need continuing the problem, which is Israel controlling our foreign policy.
Anything else, Lewis? Thanks.
Well, this is, AIPAC lists this as the most important day for Israel. And I think it's a very important day for America too, because right in there, it's basically a spies conference as far as I can tell. There have been several former, actually they were current members of AIPAC and employees who were caught spying against our country and unfortunately have just been let go without charges. Jane Harman, who spoke here yesterday, was apparently in a wiretap where she was trading horses to work out how to get these AIPAC employees taken off the charges. So we think things are a little out of kilter. I hope a lot of people have read George Washington's farewell address, where he talks about the U.S. should not enter long-term foreign alliances with any country. It's not in our strategic national interest. And we really believe that, because this is a country founded on human rights, and human rights are what America works for and how America works. And I think if we make strategic long-term relations with countries like Israel, which are founded along ethnic lines, Israel is de facto an apartheid state. It has 36 laws on the books for Israeli citizens, never mind the Palestinians in the occupied territory, but Israeli citizens who are not Jewish, for instance, are not allowed to live in 90% of Israel. So I think that we're making an alliance with a country that's influencing our foreign policy in bad ways. We're giving them a lot of money when we don't have it. It's about $10 billion a year if you look at the forgiveness of loans. That's more money than we give to sub-Saharan Africa in aid. So we think things are out of kilter, so we're coming here, the most important day for Israel. We think we should show up and talk about the most important day for the United States, which is a severance of this relationship. Still help Israel find peace, but not as a captive, economically or our foreign policy.
Well, I'm here like I am at every AIPAC convention to protest how AIPAC warps our political process, and especially this year for their exceeding violence and massacre in Gaza. And so we're out here to protest that, protest our politicians, our so-called politicians, that come out here to kiss the ring of AIPAC every year.
I'm an Episcopal priest, and I very much believe in the Bible, and I believe that in ancient times the Davidic and Solomonic kingdoms fell because they went the militaristic route and they became corrupted, not by foreign powers, but by their own internal corruption, by going to power and wealth and standing with the empire. And so I'm saying to people, follow the Torah, not Zionism. Zionism will lead you down a corrupt path.
And I see you got a Rachel Corrie sign in your hand here.
I do.
She was killed in March 2003.
That's right.
Ran over by a bulldozer.
By a U.S. financed bulldozer operated by the IDF.
And I think it was a 9-ton bulldozer. Actually, it ran over twice. It went over the front way and the back.
Follow the Torah, not Zionism.
Unfortunately, all recorded
Follow
on
the Torah,
video.
not
And
Zionism.
as far as you know, nothing's ever happened about that.
Follow the Torah,
No.
not Zionism.
Nobody's ever been held accountable for her
Follow the
death.
Torah,
She was an
not
American.
Zionism.
She was from Olympia, Washington.
She
Follow
was
the
an
Torah,
American
not
college
Zionism.
student who was a volunteer with the International
Follow the
Solidarity
Torah,
Movement.
not Zionism.
And she was standing in front of a house that the
Follow the
IDF was
Torah,
about to
not
demolish.
Zionism.
You know about Rachel Corrie?
Follow the Torah, not Zionism.
She was a young lady who was bulldozed to death with our tax money.
Follow the Torah, not Zionism.
We're here to remember her sacrifice. She was sacrificed for speaking out against not just Israeli policies, but our collusion, you know, as Americans with Israeli policies. And her family have become very outspoken supporters of the rights of Palestinians to a homeland.
And so that's one of the reasons you're here, to remember her.
Absolutely.
And raise people's consciousness about the fact that she died.
And the consequences of our policies, they're not, people die. You know, this is a U.S. citizen that died, but Palestinians die almost every day. Young Israelis are in jail for refusing to serve, for refusing to collude with the occupation. That's something we don't hear about a lot in this country.
Anything else?
I'm about to travel to Gaza, which is where
Follow the
Rachel
Torah,
Corrie was killed,
not
with a
Zionism.
delegation from
Follow the
Women
Torah,
for Peace.
not Zionism.